Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the fourth race of the Bwoah Racing League. If you're joining us right now, don't know what race this is, it's the Azerbaijan GP at this virtual streets of Baku. I, for one, is super excited. We almost couldn't make this live stream happen due to an internal issue, but we pulled through, and as the drivers lobby up and we prepare to go racing in Baku. Short qualifying has begun. Let's join in. Azerbaijan GP short qualifying, 18-minute run to set the fastest time, which will decide their place on the grid for the race. And all drivers still in the pits. And as they decide what will be the ideal time to come out, we will witness them flying through the streets of Baku. A very tight circuit. Everybody predicts chaos at turn 1. Of course, only time will tell. Drivers come out slowly out of the pits. Mr. Wex, the supreme leader who used to be known as Drunken Monkey, and Ashwin. Ooh, Williams right in front of him. And they all come out of the pits in line. And we're going to be setting the quickest possible times possible in their mean machines. We've got Big Man Joe on the run already. Outlap everybody on the outlap. 17 minutes to go, a convenient amount of time for them to decide where to come out, which parts of the track are fine for them, which parts of the track where they need to be super careful about. KDB in the Williams, he'll be hoping to put in a good lap, a good race overall, since he has been lagging behind given his reputation on the grid. Anybody you ask, everyone will tell you KDB is someone who will give a run for their money to the front runners. Yet he's in the Williams, which does put him in the back foot, but doesn't mean it's going to limit him from giving everybody a fight. Look at him flying. Let's go on board. Comes down the main DRS middle. DRS is qualifying. Turn 1. We're going to see some interesting battles into turn 1 once the race commences. course, the castle section has been the highlight so far in the previous chat. Both Watson as well as Sicknick mentioned that Thunderbird might be caught off guard and seen parking his car in the castle section. Let's hope that doesn't happen, but it was fun banter either way. Real close to the wall there, KDB. But a clean lap nonetheless, tackling corners pretty well. Of course, the Mercedes-Benz as well as Scuderia Ferrari have been on the back foot as well. Oh, does he touch? No. He was real quick on the brakes there. Real hard on the brakes, in fact. And this is a particular section which will catch drivers off guard. A very tight section on the track. Overall, someone who's really looking forward to this race was the supreme leader. He used to be known as Ashwin and Drunken Monkey, so he said he was looking forward to this. Same goes with Sicknick, who said he prefers this track as compared to Monaco itself. Where his car, the Red Bull Racing car, is actually quite, in a position of advantage, given it is Monaco, quicker corners, tighter corners in fact. Big Man Joe says the fastest lap, 1 minute 40 seconds for 4:03. Yep, almost a whole second away is freezing the Mercedes AMG. Big Man Joe's on his in lap. Seems like he's on a flying lap if you ask me. The supreme leader just set a time of 1 minute 40.850. That's almost 4 tenths. Yep, a little over 4 tenths off of the leader, Big Man Joe, right now. Wix 356 duly puts his lap in right behind his teammate. The Racing Points have looked incredibly strong so far in the past 3 races of the BRL. Of course, a lot of people do regard that team to be the ones to keep an eye out on this season of the BRL. We got Rocket Man placing himself in P6 as of now. Given the fact that he had controller issues in the previous game over the curb there. He did have multiple issues in the races before as well, so he will be looking to put in a good race today. Down the grid, of course, another team to keep an eye on is the Renault team, equally matched with the Wex and Gouts. Spectacular teammate compatibility. Yellow flag in sector 2. He is flying. UK just set the fastest lap, 1 minute 40.198 in the hearts. Big Man Joe into the pits. He looks like he's on a flying lap. Yes, he is. His teammate gives him space to continue the lap, and he is flying. That Racing Point is looking as good as ever. News though, next race we will be joined by another commentator, Rudra. Really looking forward to that, to be honest. It'll be a much more convenient session in my opinion, considering I'm pretty sure a bunch of y'all are just sick and tired of just me talking. Probably yelling ever since Australian GP. There's a huge chance it's going to repeat today, given the fact it is the Azerbaijan GP. For those of you joining us right now, this is the Azerbaijan GP, 4th race of the Bwoah Racing League street circuit. It's going to be tight, all the cars going back into the pits to figure out when to come out again, and just give it some time, understand the track. Make sure when they come out the second time, they are able to set the fastest lap time, which will enable them to get a head start on the placement of the grid. Joe on his out lap, 10 minutes left, ample amount of time. You see that Toro Rosso go back into the garage. We've got Freeze, who's another car out and about. Mercedes AMG kicking off a little bit back there. He looks good. He looks like he's in his moment. seems like he's got the momentum. Of course, that car does have the pace. In real life, it was the championship winning car of the season. Yet both Ferrari and Mercedes haven't been able to squeeze the potential out of their cars. Same goes with Red Bull, but of course, Sicknick did mention that there was a lack of communication between him and his teammate. On board, freeze, goes to the tire section of the track pretty smoothly. You could expect a couple of issues there for sure. Sorry about that, folks. Rockerman coming out. On board, Sesram C. He hasn't been in his element ever since the Australian GP, where I stressed that he was the wild card in the race. He was real close to being in the podium positions. He drove a fantastic race until the penultimate lap where he kind of went into the barriers. Very unfortunate back there. Rusty Nish in the McLaren, how can we forget? This chap has been in his element this season, but last race was horrible considering he did crash out while coming out with the intermediates. Ooh, yeah, this Mercedes AMG is flying. On board, Europe. Of course, he's his teammate. Hasn't scored a single point in the season yet. Goes a little off there. Scout's having a little issue back there. UK is still in provisional pole so far. Sicknick in the Red Bull. Well, enterprising individual, no doubt. Seems like he's got much better control compared to the previous races. Again, this is qualifying, so no one can say. For those of you joining us, qualifying is when each car will come out and set the fastest possible times. They got 18 minutes, so obviously they can set more than one time onto the board. And the fastest time, oh, Führer, a bit of a moment there into the wall. So the fastest time gets a start and pole. Oh, Führer into the wall there. That was unfortunate. In the tire section of the track, like I said, this will be a section of the track which will catch people off guard. He is slowing totally. Just to leave both the cars through. Very wise of him. Red Bull of Sicknick looking great. Watson 10 and Scooter Affair. Oh, moment joke. Rocketman and VK. Rocketman and VK are having. That was a bit of a moment for sure. VK and Rocketman had a moment. I think Rocketman lost part of his wing back there. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We seem to have an internet connection issue. We will solve it right away. Yep, ladies and gentlemen, we are back awaiting confirmation. This is kind of a usual scenario with this game. Regardless, we at the RoadRunnerRacingCo Esports do manage to figure it out every time. But we are awaiting confirmation from the online services.
No. Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as we wait, apparently every driver got disconnected and it wasn't just us. So, a bit of a moment back there. Of course, the Formula One series of games are known for this. This does happen. It's a constant worry on our part. First time during a live stream. Please bear with us. Meanwhile, why don't we drop in the chat why y'all are here, which driver y'all are here for, who are you here to support? And it's a go. Back to short qualifying. Azerbaijan GP, the virtual streets of Baku. Tight circuit, an interesting tight section. If you saw the first part of this live stream, I am guessing we might continue qualifying where we left off. Or could we be starting a complete 18-minute qualifying session once again? Of course, that would prove really useful for someone like Rocket Man, who had a bit of a moment, lost part of his wing for sure, back there along with VK. And yep, it is short qualifying all over again. Let's do it. All the more better. And let's get our full track map. Brilliant. Let's go. Short qualifying. They have 18 minutes to set their fastest timed laps. Quickest starts on pole. And of course, everybody else follows. All drivers in the pits as Freeze is the first one to come out in the Mercedes AMG Petronas. Quite the pace this car has. Of course, earlier in the part where we got disconnected, ooh, right out the bat he has broken part of his wing. What is happening, Freeze? Oh, he touches the wall again. He has broken part of his front wing. He goes into the wall in turn one so absurdly. Definitely has to work on that. He is slowing down, I think. I'm guessing he's letting other cars go. He is. All the cars out. Everybody out on their out lap. The racing point of Vix 356 coming out slowly with Gouts right behind him. This is going to be a beautiful race. I can feel it. Turn 1 is the highlight. Another highlight is the castle section along with Thunderbird. Thunderbird was not prompted. Let's say a little bit of banter from the other drivers, Srivatsan 10 and Siknik then. Thunderbird tends to park his car in the castle section, in the tire section of the circuit. Signesh Raghavan in the Red Bull, his teammate Siknig expressing that he must make the first move and start better communication with his teammate for a better result overall in the constructor standings for the team, Red Bull Racing. Of course, KDB, like I mentioned before, quite the competitor, doesn't have quite the car lacks pace clearly, but he has been pushing that to the absolute limit. Like, he's probably the most consistent name you hear among these drivers, that who is a really strong driver, it is KDB. Big Man Joe said the same, Rusty Nishu, UK as well. Everybody admits this guy has what it takes to fight in the front. He's still having issues. Big Man Joe real close to the wall there. So from C18, the wildcard of the Australian GP, hasn't been performing in his element. Has been overtaken by his teammate UK constantly. Of course, earlier in the qualifying, which got disconnected, UK did set the fastest lap and no one could beat it well within 8 minutes in the qualifying. Okay, I just got word they're only going to be doing 9 minutes of qualifying, even though the time is 18. So things just got really heated for a minute right now. And we will see them flying in no time. VK with an Alfa Romeo on his tail. Clearly lets the Alfa Romeo pass. If you're in the tail section of the track, the Ferrari right in front, the Mercedes boys and the Ferrari boys have been having quite the battles, even though if it's a little behind in the standings, the part of the race. It's usually a fight for the 10th position and 11th. Oh, he lost part of his front wing there, Furo. Probably going to go back into the pits now. Everybody losing parts and it's only qualifying. Big Man Joe with the fastest lap, 1 minute 41.278, and Rocket Man right behind, 1 minute 42.116. A bit of a moment for Wix 356 there, went into the wall, while his teammate set the fastest lap so far. The supreme leader with 1 minute 40 seconds, .721. Fura splits the Alfa Romeo, followed by Mr. Wex, who gets into the mix as well up there. Setram C18 sets a faster time than Rocketman as well. Rusty Nish shortly behind Ocado. Scouts nicks the wall back there. Signesh Raghavan in the pits, so is Accelerate. Oh, a bit of a moment here with the Supreme Leader. Oh, Supreme Leader going into the wall almost. A little bit of glitch in the game. UK flying. Nice corner. Tackling the corner pretty well, Big Man Joe back there. Supreme Leader is still the fastest. UK sets a second fastest time lap of 1 minute 41.033, splitting the two racing points. But the fact that the racing points are still up there is something for every other team to be cautious about. Those boys are in their element. Of course, the Supreme Leader sporting a pumpkin helmet. Halloween came early this year for him. And of course, Vix 356 sporting the Ayrton Senna helmet, and he loses part of his front wing. Flies there, but keeps on pushing. A lot of moments in qualifying itself. I can only imagine what the race is going to look like Fastest right now is the supreme leader, provisional pole so far. He is in the pits, UK shortly behind him. Of course, it's just tenths of a second, splitting them hundredths of a second in certain cases. Mr. Wex did good in the top 6. Program C18 into the pits. Everybody's in the pits except Gouts, who is setting a fast lap. That's awful. Tackling that corner could be quicker. On the outlaps, Thunderbird and Sicknick. Boys, look out for. Thor just freeze were pulling out of the pits as well. Thunderbird seems to be in a convenient position, and he's into the pits a little too quick, if you ask me. KDB out, hasn't set a time yet. Pushing that Williams as much as you can. His teammate Thor goes into the pit. Big man Joe out and about. Mr. Wex coming out of pits as we speak. 10 minutes to go. Doesn't seem like they're gonna stick with the 9-minute mark. So I am guessing it was a full 18-minute quali. So Mr. Wex letting Rocket Man through. That's another one of these things, ladies and gentlemen. Drivers have to leave other drivers who are on their flying laps, or else they will incur a penalty for holding them up. Sector 2 yellow flag. A bit of a moment there for one of the cars. Yellow flag means caution on track. Usually then there's even a slightest of incidents. When the yellow flag is out, you cannot overtake under yellow flag conditions. That is section of the track. Mr. Wex does a phenomenal job tackling through that. And the Alfa Romeo of Rocketman flying. Ooh, a bit of a slide. The back kicks out a bit back there. On the outlaps, all top 8 drivers are on the outlaps along with Rusty Industry, Watson 10, Freeze, Thor, Thunderbird, Sicknick. They'll all want to. Gouts just retired from the session. What happened there? Definitely had an incident. Let's try and get from one of the other cars. Doesn't seem like UK seems to have an issue. Oh no, they're heating up the tires. They are getting ready to go. KDB retired from the session as well. UK retired from the session as well. What is happening? Sector 1, 2 and 3 yellow flag. Yeah, Okaro retired from the session as well. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a 9-minute quali. Supreme Leader will hold pole with UK slightly behind, putting both the racing points in a convenient position with Vix 356 coming third. Big man Joe in P4. Quite the quali indeed. And as we wait for the rest of the pack to get ready, we will go racing in the Azerbaijan GP. Let's wait as everybody retires from the session as it is.
So retire.
The Azerbaijan GP is just ahead of us. Pole position for a racing point. The supreme leader, as he calls himself, a very convenient position, no doubt, with his teammate in P3. Seems like the position's changed. Okay, everybody hold on as we sort this out. And as the drivers get ready, we will go racing in Baku. And ladies and gentlemen, we shall wait as the drivers get ready. Quite the mishap with the whole internet connection situation. You are seeing a blank screen right now. But stay with us. We will be resuming in no time. We will be back, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, we and we're back. We have shifted to an unranked lobby due to the whole connection issue, and it should work better. And of course, we will see how the race goes. The race will be just as intense and one to watch out for sure. I'm Sarthak Ayappa, your commentator for pretty much every race till now, and hopefully for every race till the end of the season. While we wait for the drivers to lobby up, for the Azerbaijan GP. And ladies and gentlemen, drivers are setting up the grid order as we speak, and we will be going racing soon enough. And if you are watching a restream of this, why aren't you coming down and watching our live stream? Because that's when the action is more fresh, that's when it is more interesting to watch. Trust me, you're like gripping for every moment. It's live. Drivers sitting in their homes are driving for these teams in the league, and anything's possible. The pure adrenaline involved, it's amazing. Y'all have to come watch this live. It's the best part. And of course, to those F1 fans who are watching us live as right now. How excited are y'all for the Azerbaijan GP? And only that, real F1 starts today as well. It has started, the race weekend. But of course, it's the Austrian GP today. Bad day for Ferrari. Let's see what the Ferrari boys of the BRL can do to make up for that. And we will commence in 30 seconds. The Azerbaijan GP, tight track, no doubt. The tightest section is the most jaw-dropping section, no doubt. We will see cars navigate through that corner with great skill or make mistakes which will cost them dearly. And of course, turn 1 is a completely different animal on its own. Let's go racing in Azerbaijan. That turn one's gonna catch a lot of people off guard. Every driver, all they were requesting the other drivers was, please make sure you brake responsibly, not try and jump the brakes. Going into turn 1, it's crucial. The moment's crucial. Let's hope it's not catastrophic. We're racing in Baku, the tight streets of Baku. Let us see position on the grid. And we are starting off. And players are getting ready. And we are here. That is the grid. Lights will go out any moment now. Lights out and everybody steams ahead. A bit of a moment. Back markers getting quite the jump. We're going into turn 1. No moment for anybody. Racing Point maintains. There's an Alfa Romeo back there. Rocketman dips. Turn 1 is catastrophic. Not too much. Parts flying. Debris flying. Rocketman's the one to spin off there. And a Williams spins. Williams or KDB spins as well. Reset on track. The front runners have maintained quite a bit. Thor, moment there. Oh, tag again. It's a Red Bull. This time Sicknig falls. Collision. Thunderbird gets a 5-second penalty. As expected, yellow flag out. Virtual safety car in the very first lap. And barely any corners pass through. The Supreme Leader will have to slow down. Virtual safety car means the safety car will not come out. But of course, drivers cannot overtake. They have to reduce speed. Quite the moment back there. Quite the moment. Rocketman and KDB, super unfortunate. Both of them spin out on 2 different corners. The pack it's closer than ever. And we see the cars go through the corners. KDB is back. So is Rocket Man in P5. Not bad. Oh, bit of a moment there for Freeze. Slides. I think they'll be approaching the title section of the track. Oh, moment there. Debris flying all over. KDB loses a position and virtual safety car is in. We are racing in Azerbaijan once again. VK fallen back. That is Arvind, our reserve driver, coming in place of DS Aditya. Big Man Joe, 1.5 seconds off the Supreme Leader. Supreme Leader just set the fastest time lap. Rusty Nish loses the position to the Ferrari, and Mr. Wex taking that line, and he will overtake the Ferrari through the inside. Well done, Mr. Wex. Avocado losing momentum. Oh, Mr. Wex has an incident. Yep, he does. Well, we thought he made that overtake. He actually went into the wall. 5-second penalty for severe collision with Rusty Nish for freeze. Rusty Nish won't be happy about that one bit. And he dives down the inside of Mr. Wex. An easy overtake. So will freeze any moment now. And Rusty Nish doing good. Thor, Avocado in the Ferrari. Sethuram C18 could have a good race here. He is in P6 with Rocketman right in front. VK taking that position away from Srivatsan 10 of Ferrari. Ooh, a bit of shunts here. Avocado, the Avocado and Thor. The Williams driver up into P7. As I said, ladies and gentlemen, the Azerbaijan GP shuffling everything up. Thor seems solid. The Williams racing team. KDB, his teammate, making the moves as well. Tries in the inside freeze. Misses it. Debris off of the McLaren as well. Bit of a moment there, back there in the Red Bull, for the Red Bull. We'll see Debris falling quite a bit here. And the Avocado loses a position to Rusty Nish as he is steaming ahead. Safety car out on track as Sethuram C, Vix 356 all go into the pits for a change of tires. They will come out with a set ideal for the situation right now. Let's take a look at the tires as well. And Vix 356 out on the hards. All top 4 front runners are on softs. Into the pits goes Sethuram C18, Accelerate, the Avocado, Gouts and Mr. Wex. 5-second penalty for severe collision with Rusty Nish for Thor. This is the second time Rusty Nish is encountering a collision. The safety car in the middle of the track, doing nothing. Okay, bit of a glitch there. Thunderbird. Everybody in the pits, changing, switching, some mediums, some hards, some softs as well. The Ferrari serving his penalty and coming out. Srivatsan 10, Supreme Leader, holds on to his lead with the softs, did not go in. Big Man Joe taking his time. This will push the entire grid closer together. Ideal position Vix 356 has fallen behind Williams and Water Drive, capitalizing on the penalties as well as the safety car, as well as the virtual safety car. Thor has put himself in the top 5. Brilliant. KDB as well, fantastic race so far, but it's only been 3 laps, and given the fact that the Williams racing team does lack in pace, anything is possible. Vix 356 splitting the Williams in between, fallen 3 positions. Of course, most of the grid has medium tires on. Strategy will be crucial, but with safety car probably gonna come out again, given the chance, anything is possible. Into the pits right now, the front runners, all top front runners, all 4 front runners who I had speculated to stay out, go in for his change of tires. Does this mean Thor will take the race lead? No, Thor goes back into the pits as well as the safety car stays out. we will see Big 356 take the race lead with KDB shortly behind, but Big Man Joe comes out in front of KDB. Will hold on to his prior position. Brilliant pit stop right there. The Supreme Leader fallen 3 positions down, but they did come out. Big Man Joe coming out with the medium tires, whereas Supreme Leader coming out with the hard tires. Everybody getting ready, heating up their tires. As the safety car is out and about, Wix 356 takes the race lead from his teammate. Severe collision with Sicknig by Accelerate. Not something you see by an individual like Accelerate. He's been quite the clean racer in season 3 of the Bwoah Racing League. You know, commendable racing in China with the Supreme Leader. Yellow flag, no one can overtake. Safety car is out. Rustiness really caught off guard. Been hit twice with severe collisions, but both of them did get penalties. But Rustiness has climbed quite a bit into P7, so that's good. He is on the tail of that safety car, VIX 356. The SLS AMG by Mercedes-Benz is the official safety car of Formula 1, as well as pretty much the game, so Bwoah Racing League as well. With it staying out, probably going in this lap. Big Man Joe in the mediums, while VIX 356 in the hards. So fresh medium tires on Big Man Joe, KDB as well, and Supreme Leader on the hards. Both the racing points on the hards, and could that strategy work out for them? 22 laps to go. Freeze in the front right now. His car is finally where it deserves to be. UK falling quite a bit, but got Rustiness on his tail. And will we go racing any moment now? VIX 356 on board. Safety car doesn't seem like it's going in lap. Nope, it's staying out. It is staying out for one more lap as everybody on the grid settles themselves. Big Man Joe with a 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, while D Avocado retires from the race. Rocketman, 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits again. Where are they exceeding track limits though? He's just trying to heat up the tires. KDB put himself right in front. During the pit stop, Thor did fall quite a bit, but he is out in the sauce. We could see him steaming through the pack, given everybody in front of him is on mediums and hards up top with the Supreme Leader as well as VIX 356. So definitely team play going on. Drivers heating up their tires. I'm pretty sure this is the lap the safety car will come in and we will be allowed to go racing again. Accelerate far away from the back for some reason. I'm guessing after that collision with the Avocado, unfortunately. Sicknig actually back there. Tire section of the track, of course, as VIX 356, Big Man Joe. They seem close with a larger gap for KDB. And we are in Baku as KDB heats up his tires, almost ready to go racing. VIX 356 can't hold on anymore. He is on the tail of that safety car. He knows Big Man Joe in the fresh medium tires will be ready to take that jump into turn 1. 5 laps and the safety car has come out. Virtual safety car has come out as well. Severe collision with Freeze. 5-second time penalty for UK. Bit of a moment there. Freeze kind of okay. This is scrambles. This is scrambles. The safety car will go in this lap as VIX 356 pushes the entire grid closer. What a moment. 5-second time penalty for Gouts after a severe collision with Sicknig. I'm guessing that was caused after the grid got pushed together. VIX 356 will steam ahead now and we are back racing here at the Azerbaijan GP. on board instantly. Thor, along with his soft tires, takes the jump. So does KDB on the Supreme Leader. Turn 1, clean. Big Man Joe right alongside Wix 356. Coming into the corner, clean, no worries right there. The Williams is in the front, right behind Big Man Joe. Can he take that jump? Big Man Joe trying to attack Wix 356 in any given opportunity. Real close. This is racing, no doubt. Wix 356 holding on to that lead pretty well, keeping Big Man Joe off, but Big Man Joe is right next to Wix 356. Almost a three-way. KDB right behind Big Man Joe. Wix 356. Oh, a little bit over the curve for Big Man Joe. KDB does capitalize on that position. Takes P2 right now. Big Man Joe loses spot trying to attack Wix 356 in that corner. Everybody's closer than ever. Oh, nicks the wall back there in the tire section of the track. Wix 356, KDB holding on to that position. Big Man Joe's breathing down his neck. Supreme Leader has UK on his tail. Closer than ever. Big Man Joe trying to make that move and get ahead of that Williams, who's keeping him off pretty well. Good job, KDB. Let's go down the grid a bit. Rusty Nish, who has climbed quite a bit, frees a bit of a moment. Someone's off there. Sethuram C18, a bit of a moment. Sick Nig. And WK, our reserve driver's first race of the Bwoah Racing League this season, with Thor breathing down his neck. KDB just set the fastest time in the Williams racing. And Thor trying to get that jump, but the pace, it's struggling. The Williams is struggling. McLaren will hold on to that position. Mistake in turn 1, a little bit of slip up for both the Williams and the McLaren. Everybody's closer as ever in the midfield, as WK is losing position, slipping off corners. And Thunderbird takes slipstream, goes on the outside, nicks the wall there, gets that position. Srivatsan 10 in the Ferrari as well. KDB doing a good job on top, holding on to his position. Cars are closing the line, but this is the Azerbaijan GP. UK fallen quite a bit because of the pit stop he just made for the hard tires. I don't know how far that strategy will work out, but with over 19 laps yet to go, all the 3 back markers are in hards. Given that they could be expecting another safety car to come out, with Freeze losing it a bit back there in that corner. Rocketman at the end of the pack. Oh, wide. Big Man Joe goes wide again, trying to attack KDB. KDB on the tail of the racing point. Beautiful, steaming ahead. Wonderful racing. No doubt, Big Man Joe real close. The Supreme Leader will take that jump. Will he? No, he goes into the pits. Supreme Leader into the pits for a change of tires. KDB just set the fastest lap once again, and he is on the tail of Wix 356. Tries to go alongside him, doesn't work out. That Williams is lacking pace, but KDB is pushing it in every possible way. A lot of people into the pits, losing positions, as well as the Supreme Leader comes out with hards. Bit of a moment here with Thor and Srivatsan 10, who is fighting for his position back. Srivatsan 10 along the inside, side to side with the Williams almost. Yep, he will take that position. Nope, he doesn't. Williams shuts the door pretty well. Oh, nicks the wall. Thor, a mess up which costed him the position. Over here in UK and VK, the K's back here fighting it out, both on hard tires. McLaren and the Haas. We've got, of course, the back markers will keep looking had an opportunity to strike while Thunderbird at the back of the pack. No one in front of him for too long, and I'm pretty sure the front runners are going to be steaming behind him any moment. Wix 356 still has KDB on his tail and will continue to have him on his tail. And given that they are racing so close to each other, the tire degradation could be intense. He goes alongside him. Will we see? Yep, we almost wheel to wheel coming into the main straight. KDB almost takes the race lead, messes up braking point. Brilliant braking tactics by Wix 356. Big Man Joe right behind, waiting for the front two to make a mistake so he can get the jump. These three are looking incredible today. Sethuram C18 has a huge gap to the front runners, but no doubt he could be fighting in the front in no time. While the most degradation, most tires degraded is for KDB, as Freeze retires from this session after an incident, I am sure. As I go down to Thor, who is in the pits, Freeze has retired, so does D'Avocado. Two retirements, both unfortunately missed by us over here in the live stream session. This could be due to an internet connection issue, or it could be a incident, as we see KDB take the lead. Yep, KDB incident, yellow flag in sector 2 as Big Man Joe goes alongside Wix 356, tries, but KDB, a moment there in the tightest section of the track, someone was bound to make a mistake for sure, given the nature of this track. Unfortunate that it should have been KDB as he reset himself. He will be trying to fight again, but that gap has increased between him and Big Man Joe, as it is back to Wix 356 and Big Man Joe. As the yellow flag has intensified, Sicknig retires from the session. Virtual safety car out and about. And Sicknig, another retirement in the Bwoah Racing League. 3 retirements and not even 10 laps have passed. UK Gouts has gotten a position gained. Mr. Wex in 7th, supreme leader, a little bit behind compared to his teammate. KDB goes into the pits. Yellow flag in all sectors. Rusty Nish will take that position from KDB as he goes into the pits. Rusty Nish has climbed up significantly with 16 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. Into the pits goes Gouts as well for a tire change. He was on the softs and he will come out with serves his penalty as well, and he comes out with the hards for a longer stint. They aren't expecting another safety car anytime soon, but a bit of a moment here. UK and KDB. Now KDB lost quite a bit of positions given the fact that he has gone in and come out on the hards, which are fresher hards compared to the race leader Wix 356, whose tires are 7 laps old. Excuse me about that. And like I said, capitalizing on the pit stop, Sethuram C18 has put himself amongst the front runners. Real close race in KDB and UK. Going through the castle section of the track. 3 retirements, a Red Bull, a Mercedes and a Ferrari. Who would have thought? Bit of debris out there on track as Srivatsan 10 nicks the wall back there. Yup, the back has separated quite a bit. Sethuram C18 and wheel to wheel Big Man Joe and Wix 356 into turn 1. Big Man Joe will take the race lead. Mr. Wex just set the fastest time, being P6 in the mediums. On board Big Man Joe, right behind Wix 356. UK sets the fastest time in the Haas. And he's trying. Rusty Nish right behind him. The Supreme Leader is trying to get ahead of Rusty Nish. Will we see them going wheel to wheel any moment now? Sector 1, yellow flag. I think that's the Williams and The Haas around the corners. Rajneesh doing a commendable job holding that position. Supreme Leader right behind him. He will try. Nope. It's really difficult to expect to get slipstream in a track like this. Momentum is everything. Rocketman up into P10 as 3 drivers retire. Obviously, a lot of positions are for grabs, points, positions which give out points, really up for grabs as Gouts right behind the Ferrari of Srivatsan in 10, a gap he'll have to close. Tire section on the truck, Rocketman driving rather calmly. Everybody's rather calm. And wheel to wheel, Haas and Racing Point. Sethuram C18 fighting with Vix 356 as Vix 356 loses the position not only to Big Man Joe, who's just set the fastest lap, but possibly to the Haas right now as we go into turn 1. No, he defends well, touches Vix 356 from the back. That's never great. But he is close, he is in striking distance. He will try and give it a go once again as KDB gets the jump on UK. Rashinish has lost that position to the Supreme Leader as Vix 356 loses the position to Sethuram C18 as well. Of course, tires differ, so we could see a jumble of the entire pack soon. As bit of a moment there for Sethuram C18 as both the Racing Points in real close together. Could we see a teammate versus teammate battle? The gap is too big to expect a battle anytime soon as Rushdie approaches the Supreme Leader, waiting for him to make a mistake. Mr. Vex out and about all alone with no one to be seen either in front, but KDB at the back will try to close that gap to Mr. Vex. He's driven fantastically in the first 10 laps, but fantastic driving by KDB, no doubt. But he has lost positions he wouldn't be too happy about. He was fighting in the front before he made that mistake at the castle section. As we are looking at Srivatsan 10 in the Ferrari, Thunderbird approaching real close. The Ferraris haven't been in their element. Oh, off! Did I accelerate? Goes off in the runoff area. Bit of a moment. He did not collide with the barriers, so that's good. He just went off into. He touches on this return to Thor, and he will probably lose a position to Rocketman, who has the pace, but Thor is steaming ahead with accelerate right behind Rocketman. Tries to dive down the inside, but fails to get that jump. Of course, these are the back markers of the race right now as Rusty Nish loses a position to Wix 356. UK splitting the Racing Points as Accelerate searching for a gap to get that jump on the Williams of Thor. And he's approaching wheel to wheel as they go down the straight. Yep, Accelerate will take that position pretty well. And yep, Rocketman gets that jump too as the Williams of Thor lacks space and the Alfa Romeo as well as the Toro Rosso gets that jump. But all three cars are close. Alfa Romeo trying to get that slipstream, not long enough straight. No one touches the wall yet as Rocketman's gap increases. And Thor's gap is bigger than ever as our reserve driver VK is trailing. Big Man Joe leading the race pretty darn well. Huge gap created between him and Sethuram C18, who are both on mediums, as well as the tire life is equal as well. While the Supreme Leader, who has made a significant climb up the pack in third, while his teammate has fallen down to seventh. Mr. Vex made considerable gaining in positions with KDP in the Williams. Huge gap between them, 3 seconds. Mr. Vex sets the fastest time duly in the Renault. This could be a good race for him. He could going to the podium positions, given that the pack could close up if there's another safety car. And Shivatsen 10 of the Ferrari out in the open as Thunderbird approaches Rusty Nish, his next target to overtake. A gap which could close any moment, half second between them, half second. And like as you can see, they are closer than ever. Accelerate just set the fastest time of 1 minute 45.471 in the Red Bull Toro Rosso Honda. And closer than ever is Accelerate and Rocketman, as it is yellow flag in sector 1 where they are currently. I'm guessing both of them had a moment there in the wall, into the wall, and Rocketman taps Accelerate at the back. Not too hard of a shunt, so I don't think anyone would mind that. Of course, he could be given a warning as Rocketman on the tail of Accelerate, waiting for him to make a mistake. Accelerate keeping it clean. Accelerate driving his race pretty well. They come through the castle section of the track. Good fight as Thunderbird gets that jump, trades blows with Rusty Nish. Rusty Nish holding on to that position. Thunderbird on his tail of the Toro Rosso. Both the Toro Rossos looking fit as ever at Baku. And as they steam down the corners, they go wheel to wheel. Thunderbird wheel to wheel with Rusty Nish and down the straight, main straight, and he does get that jump. He does get that jump, but coming into turn 1, anything is possible. Will Rusty Nish try to take that inside line? He does try, doesn't get that pace, doesn't have that pace. Thunderbird will take that position of P8 as Mr. Wex falls down to P7. I'm guessing we're 356 and UK doing quite the job, or Mr. Wex did have a moment back there as Rusty Nish holds on to that position. KDB up into P4 around the castle section. Sethuram C18, and yes, it's big gaps here at Baku as Big Manjo goes beyond track limits back there. Of course, anybody's race. 11 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, as there's a racing point there fighting with my apologies. And the McLaren of VK, bit of a moment, his first race, not something you'd like to see. He's struggling to get back on track, and he does. That was the Williams and McLaren, sorry about the confusion, they were going wheel to wheel in the backdrop of Big Man Joe. Thor won't be happy with that position given the fact that KDB's up in the front. As UK and Sethuram C18 teammates trade blows as Sethuram C18 goes into the pits, as it said, and he comes out with a fresh medium tires. With fresh medium tires. They did not trade blows yet, like I like to say, because in the previous 2 races they've had quite a bit of a moment where they're going wheel to wheel. Of course, UK has bettered Sethuram C18 every time. But will Sethuram C18 look to get the best out of his car and get the better out of his teammate? As he slides through, Big 356 fallen below the top 5. As Thor and Rusty Nish having a bit of a switch in positions as Rusty Nish goes into the pits and comes out with fresh medium tires. And it's both the McLarens at the back of the pack. We're seeing multiple pit stops as Rocketman beating down the neck of Gouts. Everybody nicking that wall over there. Shivatsen 10 going through the castle section. Clean clean attacking of those corners. This is a wing view, for those of you who don't know. Formula 1 wings are quite interesting. A lot of aerodynamic engineering that goes into it. And of course, the developers have made it as real as possible, like as we see the aerial view of Gouts. With Rocketman right behind him. Like I said, he has a bit of a moment as the back kicks off there for Gouts. It's 0.2 of a second is the gap between the Renault and the Alfa Romeo, with almost 1.5 seconds accelerated behind him. Mr. Wex, a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Not a penalty you see too often. VK has left the session. Ladies and gentlemen, internet issues. I presume DRS is enabled. That little sound is when, bit of a moment here with Accelerate, who's going into the pits as Mr. Wex serving his 5-second time penalty. Rocketman and Gouts fighting. Rocketman runs off in a runoff area. Tried to get that jump on Gouts, fails to do so. He is trying to put himself back onto the track, hits the barriers again, loses a bit of his front wing as he's come to a complete stop. He was in a complete stop and now he is off. He will come out behind Thor and Rusty Nish. A good climb for both the drivers in terms of positions as Gouts overtakes his teammate who came out of the pits after serving a time penalty like we were seeing earlier before that moment between Rocketman and Thor. As Rocketman and Mr. Wex. Gouts. Quite the confusion here at the Azerbaijan GP with me. And in general, if you are watching, please leave in the chat who you are supporting, as 3 drivers have already retired from this session. Rocketman nicks the wall in the castle section again, as into the pits goes UK and the Supreme Leader. Both go into the pits and come out with fresh medium tires, as we are on board Gouts, who has Mr. Wex, his teammate, right behind him. He looks brilliant in that Renault, steaming ahead. He'll approach Ferrari in no time for sure. As the Ferrari of Srivatsan 10 seems calm and composed. Shivram C18 in the podium positions, holding on to that pretty well with a 5-second gap to V356. KDB in up into P2, but he's got a 17-second gap to close to the race leader, Big Man Joe. He's placed his car fantastic. He's placed his car incredibly well. Let's go on board. Big Man Joe, race leader, mediums on, 14 laps old. The oldest tires on the grid, with Thunderbird back in P7 to 11 laps. So the gap should close in. Actually, this could be a convenient time for him to pit and come out in softs, one might think, given the fact that there is a 17-second gap to KDB. This is the most ideal situation for him to pit. He'll have just enough time to come out with softs, better tires, more race pace, as well as complete the race. Staying in the race lead, no doubt. KDB will wait, as Big Man Joe could make a mistake or could go into the pits. Anything is possible. Sithram C18 shortly behind, 8-second gap, almost with 356, almost a 5-second gap. The closest is the Supreme Leader and UK as they come into the corner. And he'll try to get slipstream, but is the straight route long enough for him? He gets the slipstream. He tries diving and then realizes the corner's coming up too fast. It is not worth it, as he tries again into the corner, closer than ever. The Supreme Leader to UK. And into the corners they go. Let's go on board Supreme Leader. He will wait cautiously calm and composed as UK nicks the wall back there. P5 is the position up for grabs through the castle section. They go as Thunderbird 12 seconds away from the Supreme Leader. Nothing to worry about for him. That horse seems to be steaming ahead pretty well. He seems to have quite the pace. Of course, Sethuram C18 up into the podium position and doesn't seem like he's closing the gap, while KDB has managed to close a gap of 1 second to Big Banjo. Of course, he's got a lot to catch up on. Steaming ahead, the Supreme Leader and the horse of UK. Supreme Leader will try, yes, around the outside as he goes, and he will take that position from the horse of UK. Well done, well done. Supreme Leader rightfully so sets the fastest time lap of 1 minute 44.196. 5-second time penalty for Rocketman for ignoring the blue flag. For those of you who don't know, the blue flag is when you have a front runner behind you and you have to let them through. And if you ignore it, rightfully so, you get a penalty. And that's why Rocketman did get one, as Thunderbird not serving a penalty. Yep, serving a penalty. As he waits for his pit stop as well. Softs go on for Thunderbird. We can see him climbing up any moment as the two Renaults pass him while he is in the pits. And Gouts and Mr. Wex are closer than ever to each other right now. The yellow boys steaming ahead. Two seconds closed, a total of 3 seconds closed in the front by KDB. He's just, and yep, he goes into the pits like I said. And a little bit of moment here with Supreme Leader in UK. They've been switching positions for multiple times. While Big Man Joe goes into the pits, I'll be really surprised if he doesn't come out on the softs. Supreme Leader steaming ahead. He comes out on the hards. Nope, he doesn't come out on the hards. He comes out on the softs as KDB on the hards, while we see the Supreme Leader take back his position from UK, who loses the position to Supreme Leader. Bit of a moment over the curb. These two have been striking blows on and off from a while now. The pumpkin helmet of Supreme Leader working effectively, if you ask me, giving a bit of a scare for UK back there. As the gap increases between the two drivers to almost a second, we could see less of a fight back there, as KDB is currently the race leader in the Williams Racing car. Not bad, no doubt. He did get that jump. Given the timing of the pit stop, he had closed in about 4 seconds to Big Banjo already. Like I said, probably pitting earlier could have given Big Banjo the opportunity to keep that race lead, but again, potato. As Big Banjo, like I predicted, out in softs. Sethuram C18 not too far behind, but given that he is on softs, Big Banjo, it's very unlikely to see the horse close in on him. Again, with a 1.5 second gap, it's not too unlikely, but the gap seems to be only increasing. And the Supreme Leader in UK are going at it. Both of them steaming. And a little bit of closing of the line there by Supreme Leader as they come into the turn 1. Horse laid on the brakes. Will it cost him? Yes, it does. He nicks and loses a bit of his front wing. Quite the fight they're putting on, no doubt. Wish 356 and the Supreme Leader have a 6 second gap between them, as Vix 356 closes in on Setu RC18. Into the corner. No doubt UK will be right behind Supreme Leader any moment now, while Thunderbird sets the fastest lap time. 5 second gap between the two Renaults, while the smallest gap is between Thunderbird and Gouts. Let's go on both Thunderbird as you see him trying to make up that gap. Gouts a little bit of moment there onto the wall. That should give Thunderbird a little bit of momentum, but given that Renault has a bit more race pace compared to the Toro Rosso, at Thunderbird a little too much over the curb cost him a possible attack opportunity on Gouts. Oh, over the curb, that's corner cutting. He will be given a warning for that as they come through the castle section. Gouts placing his car pretty well, but both of them having issues over the curbs, running their car a little too much. And the gap has closed in for less than a second as Gouts has been tapping the wall to and fro. Time and time and again, and Thunderbird having issues with the curves. These two have been driving for over a lap quite similarly. They've been making similar mistakes owing to the no change in position. As he dives down the outside, as Gouts loses a position, he seems to have issues for sure. As you can hear the RPM get stuck. Rastinish will take that jump as well. He nurses the car back into the pits. Gouts Rastinish will gain a position as 3-second time penalty after multiple warnings. I'm guessing for exceeding track limits as well as going over the curb in an unsafe manner. Could that be a time penalty? Regardless, 3-second time penalty for Thunderbird. As Accelerate also gets the jump on Gouts. Srivatsan 10 as well comes into the first corner as Gouts comes out with the softs. Right now, we've got 4 drivers out in soft. We've got VK, we've got Gouts, we've got Thunderbird, as well as we've got Big Man Joe in front. "29 seconds between Mr. Wex and UK, as there is a moment here between Big Man Joe and Setu RC18. Big Man Joe was trying to close in on that gap between him and KDB, but he seems to have lost his position to Sethuram C18, who is on medium tires after a brief moment with a barrier, if I'm not wrong. And they will be wheel to wheel any moment now as they approach the corner. Big Man Joe on the tail, on the back wing of Setu RC18 of the Haas. No mistakes. Any mistake by Setu RC18 will cost him his position for sure. As he tries around the outside again, Big Man Joe, he nicks the wall as Srivatsan 10 retires from the session after an incident I am sure of. Both the Ferraris retiring from the session. Really unfortunate for the team. Will put them, will make them lose considerable. Oh, there it is. That's the blurred out Ferrari in the middle of the track. If you were able to see that, I think VK will approach it any moment now, unless it has been cleared off track. Yes, it has been cleared off track. Cool. As KDB holds the race lead with a whole 10-second gap to Setu RC18. He has hards. It can go 2 more laps left in the Azerbaijan GP. What a race it's been. Fortunately, we couldn't get the incidents, all 4 DQs. We did get a bit of moment back there with Srivatsan 10 as Big Man Joe loses yet another position. He seems to be out of shape as he goes into the pits and he hits the wall there as well. Not ideal how this race is turning out. On the penultimate lap, as Big Man Joe loses positions to UK, yellow flag in sector 1. Thor retires from this session as well, which I'm guessing caused by an incident, as another retirement in the Azerbaijan GP. KDB Race leader, sector 1 yellow flag. Yep, that is Thor of the Williams right there. After going too hard into a corner and hitting the wall. KDB leads this race with a 10-second gap to Setu RC18. Quite the moment. A lot of people who haven't scored points, we will see them in point scoring positions, as both Mercedes AMG cars as well as both Ferrari cars have retired from the session, along with both Red Bulls as well. Along with the Williams Racing, as his teammate KDB leads this race. Setu RC18 will try to close that gap, but Vix356 seems to have too much. Seems to have gone easy on this race for some reason. UK seems to be closing that gap to Supreme Leader and could take the jump on the last lap. Setheram C18, this is where the fight is, as Big Man Joe had went into the pits after an incident with the wall. Lost his race lead to KDB first, and Setheram C18 took his P2 position as well. As we are looking at Accelerate, who will finish in the points, given that he doesn't lose out to Gouts. KDB has done a spectacular race, while Vix356, a bit of a moment there, losing position at turn 1. Again, catastrophe for Racing Point as well, as Supreme Leader will take his teammate's position, and UK shortly behind is going to be a top 5 finish with none of the front runners from the previous races, at least. We, of course, UK, who set the fastest time in the previous race at China. Supreme Leader looks not too close, 4-second gap to Setheram C18 and KDB. If he can do and finish this final lap with no mistakes, he will have the race lead. Race win. As we go on board, KDB, Setheram C18 will not be able to close the gap. He is flying, KDB. A well executed race by him, no doubt. As Mr. Wex retires from the session. DNF for Mr. Wex. We won't be able to see him and along the main straight any moment now. KDB will come along the main straight right about now, and it's all clear for the Williams Racing team. It is all clear for KDB, and across the line comes KDB, race winner of the Azerbaijan GP. He'll be proud of that. A good race, no doubt. A good race. Fantastic race. Well noted for the team. Unfortunate for his teammate, as Setheram C18 comes second. As I was saying, Williams Racing teammate retired. Supreme Leader does put himself in the podium position, as UK comes fourth. Vix356, the other Racing Point, comes fifth after a bit of a moment. Bit of an unfortunate race for Big Man Joe. He had the race lead. He was in commendable position. Had the softs on. He could have made the moves, but errors cost a lot in racing. As he comes through the line, P6 Thunderbird, calm and composed, contradictory to popular opinion. He did not park his car in the castle section. Rather, Srivatsan 10 and Siknig have retired, and Thunderbird finishes this race in P7, as Rusty Nish holds on to P8, but Thunderbird's given a 5-second time penalty, and Rusty Nish will finish ahead of Accelerate. A last bit of wheel-to-wheel racing there we witnessed. Fantastic down the main straight, as Gouts will finish P10 after a race filled with multiple little mistakes, and Rocketman, who started off brilliantly but finishes P11, and VK P13. And through the finish line, wonderful race, the Azerbaijan GP. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the intense moments. We will be clipping them in the back. Hopefully we would have been able to get them. About 5 or 6 cars retiring. The completely 3 teams have retired: Mercedes AMG, Scuderia Ferrari, and Red Bull Racing. as the Williams Racing team gets the win. KDB, fantastic race. Right behind him, Sethuram C18, followed by the supreme leader who is in the points. Wonderful race. See y'all in the next one. Join us in the post-race chat with the driver who set the fastest lap on Instagram Live. Cheers.